Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the Sullivan family. It is Saturday. Bro, what are you doing? The cat's eating my glasses. I just took my glasses off because it's really reflective. He's eating them. I'll show you. Bro, what are you doing? Don't act like nothing's going on. You're just eating them. Oh, yeah. Stop doing it now. Random. Anyway, it's Saturday. It's Saturday afternoon. I think that Ben is still editing the vlog from the baking yesterday. That was supposed to go on tonight, but he's still editing it. So you've got me instead. Oh, and the cat. Oh, now he's playing with them. So he's eating them again. I'll show you. Are you just not going to do it because I'm showing you on camera and you don't want to? You're shy. Anyway, just got me and the cat. So, it's been a busy week. I mean, it's always a busy week. But it's been a busy week. I've been shopping twice. We've had Joseph's birthday, obviously, on Wednesday. I've had my hair done. I've been out this morning and it's been a bit blowy. Actually, it looks, you can see, I've gone darker this time. Gone much, much darker. He's fed up with me. He wanted some peace and quiet. And I've annoyed him. I'm just going to go and sit in the window instead. So I've annoyed him. Coming and disturbed his peace. Anyway, I've gone darker, although it's dark brown. But you can only kind of see the brown when the sun shines because the rest of the time it looks quite dark. I've gone dark. I thought it would look better with growing it. I do need some new straighteners. That's the other thing. My straighteners are no longer my own. They're mine from years and years and years ago. I had GHD ones from years ago. And they've been commandeered by the kids. I think Olivia's got them. And we need another pair. So I'm going to get another pair of straighteners. There is a few pairs kicking around the house. But they're never available. I think that's the Hoover. I think someone's hoovering. I wonder what that noise was. I think somebody's hoovering. Ben's taking the little ones to the rock pools. But I think Elizabeth is cleaning up in her room. Isabel's going to be going to work in a minute. It's been a busy morning. We had swimming, obviously, first thing in the morning. I didn't get up when my alarm went off this morning, so I didn't get up till 6. We have to be out the door at 9. I know that sounds like quite a big window, but everyone's got to have breakfast, get dressed. Then there's it takes a long time. When you've got a lot of people in the house, it's not just a case of, just shoving a bowl of cereal down your neck and going out the door. There's a lot of people to feed. And make the beds, do the washing, all that sort of stuff. I like to get all that done before we go anywhere. So anyway, they've gone off to swimming. They went off to swimming, should I say. I then go over and pick up the twins, and I've got Florence, to take them across to ballet. And everything was really good time today. We did everything in really good time, plenty of time. So then they had ballet. Then Florence has ballet. She's back to ballet today, which she was very happy about. She loves her little ballet class. It's taken her a while to settle in. Took her a while to settle in, but now she loves it. She loves her little ballet class. And then by the time we get back, it's 12:30, and then it's lunch. And now this afternoon, because we are going out tomorrow afternoon for Joseph's birthday, because we could have done something on Wednesday, but Noah was at college, sorry. And was Charlotte at college? No, she was home on Wednesday. And the girls all have classes on Wednesday night, starting at 4:30. So, is it 4:30? No, 5:30. No, 4:45. Sorry. So it would have been a bit of a rush getting everywhere and getting back. So we just decided. And plus, I was worried that doing much on his actual birthday, too much on his actual birthday would have been too much for him. And in hindsight, it would have been too much for him, because I mean, it was fairly chilled for his birthday. We had obviously did his presents in the morning, which if you remember, if you've been following us for a while, you'll know that Joseph never used to go near his presents. Christmas, birthdays, he just would sit in a corner and wouldn't have anything. It was a real kind of no-no. And slowly over the years, he started getting into it a little bit more. And what, like I said in some of the reels that I made, we spend the same amount on all the kids. They all get £150 for the birthdays. But I do try not to buy him too many things, because the more stuff he has, the more kind of overstimulated, overwhelming it is for him. And I think he doesn't really play with toys as such. He's got a few things that he likes, like he likes those magnetic blocks. Did you see that went past then? He likes those magnetic blocks. He loves them, so we got him some more of them, which he does play with. And he wanted the Italian brain rot characters, don't ask. But he doesn't really. He does quite like Lego, although we bought him a Lego set, and I knew it would be too hard for him. But he would. It was a Fortnite one, and I knew Toby would help him. In the end, he just got Toby to do it. He will sometimes join him with building Lego, but he's not. He doesn't like play with toys like that. He likes to be jumping, running, up out in the garden, running around. He's quite active in that sense, which is why we bought him the spinny chair, because I thought that would be great for him, because he can just spin around on it, and he's loved it. But it's quite hard to know what to buy him, because he's not really. I mean, obviously he loves his computer games, or his games on his iPad. He loves all of that. And you can buy him like Roblox and stuff, which is fine. Robux, sorry. But I didn't want, you don't want it to be all about that every time. Obviously, I wanted to get him some other bits, but it's quite difficult, because it's like what you want in your mind to do and to get, what you feel that the celebration should be, isn't always what is suited to like him. For most people are like birthdays, big celebrations, or lots of attention, lots of the day is kind of dedicated to you, if you like, and that's great for most people. But with Joseph, it's not how it works. He doesn't feel comfortable with that. He's not he's not going to like that, and it's quite difficult kind of getting your own head around that. But of course, the day isn't about me, the day is about him. So we asked him what he wanted to do, because obviously we're going out at the weekend. He said he wanted to go to Hopeman Park, get some sweeties from the shop. So that's exactly what we did. He played outside on his new scooter, which he's been doing brilliantly at. He's always struggled with a scooter. So we got him and the 3-wheeled ones are quite often directed at younger children. But I managed to find a 3-wheeled scooter online, the same brand as Agnes has got, but it's for older children, so like up to the age of 12. So it's bigger, so it's really cool. And he's been doing really, really well on that. So he had that as well, obviously. So he was outside playing on that with Toby for most of the morning. And then we went to the park in the afternoon, came back and did his cake. And then he went outside and played a bit more. And then he played on his iPad Roblox and Grow a Garden, all that sort of stuff with the girls that didn't go to dancing that night, or cheer. And that for him was like the perfect day. So he was happy, although the last couple of days, so for him, that's quite a lot. It's quite a lot of attention on him. And for Thursday and Friday and today, his mood's not been great, to be honest. This is kind of the downfall of all the anticipation and the excitement, even though you try. It's really hard, and anybody with kids on the spectrum will know, because you want to have that build up. You want to be like, oh, it's your birthday. And he's been saying that, he's been saying, oh, it's my birthday in such and such a days. But equally, you can't, if you hype it up too much, he's not going to be able to cope with it. So you have to kind of take it back a little bit, even though you want him to be really excited, but you don't want him to be too excited, because it will overwhelm him. It's really, really hard. So yeah, he's been like counting down and been going, oh, it's really exciting and all that sort of stuff, but trying not to be too much. But anyway, the last couple of days has been meltdown city because it's all of kind of all the excitement, and then, you know, it's a bit like, I suppose, with any other child, you know, you have or anybody, you know, what, you come back from holiday, or, you know, your birthday's over and done with, you always feel a little bit like you know, when you come back or whatever. But for him, it's the regulation of his emotions are not so easy. So the last couple of days has been a bit difficult, but we've just got outside a lot, and, you know, it's just what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, so tomorrow we are going to Inflate in Inverness. Now, we were going to go to Skyline Trampoline Park originally we were going to go to Infinity Trampoline Park over in Inverness, and then we were like, no, let's go to Skyline because it's bigger. And then when I looked into it yesterday, it's the open jump. They do a family jump session, but it's at 9:30 in Inverurie, which would mean we'd have to leave here at 8 a.m. That's not happening. I am not getting this lot out the door for 8 o'clock in the morning. All 14 of us. It's not happening. The little ones, maybe teenagers, out the door for 8 a.m. in the morning is not happening. And I'm not even going to try, basically, unless we were like getting on a plane and going somewhere. I'm not trying. Everybody is coming. I've asked everybody wants to come. So yeah, anyway, Skyline is age 4+ for the open jump. Can you imagine if we went and Florence wasn't allowed on the trampolines? She would literally not be impressed at all. So we were like, right, okay, we can't do Skyline for another year until Florence is 4. Because she doesn't look 3 either. Of course, she's so tiny. We couldn't even get away with saying, yeah, she's 4, because she's just too tiny. So then we were like, well, we could go across to Infinity. But then I remembered the Inflate is opened, and they really wanted to go to Inflate. So I said to Joseph, we can either go to Infinity Trampoline Park, or we can go to the new Inflate in Inverness. And they've been to the Inflate in Aberdeen before. And they were like, yeah, Joseph's like, yeah, I want to go to Inflate. So we're going to Inflate instead. Because we've not been yet. So we're doing that, and then probably McDonald's on the way home for them. But yeah, so I'm trying to get all of my jobs done today, so I don't have so many to do tomorrow morning before we go, because I think we're booked for like 2 p.m. So we need to be out the door for like, if I say we get out the door for 1:15, we might actually get out of the house for like 1ish. Believe me, trying to gather everybody together to get out the door, and then you get everybody and someone leaves and goes back inside, you're like, no, don't go back inside the house, come out of the house, don't go back inside. Then you think you've got everybody in the seats, and it's not the little ones sat in the car waiting, they're good as gold. It's not the little ones, believe me, it's the older ones. And then, you know, they're in the car. You think, that's great, I've got them in the car. Somebody will just get up and go, actually, I need to go and get something. No, don't leave the car. We're nearly ready to go. Don't leave the car. So when you've actually, and then you normally sat there waiting for Olivia. She'll be 10 minutes after everybody else. Finally get in the car, ready to go. Everybody's been to the toilet at least twice. That in itself probably takes about 15 minutes, maybe 20. Just, you know, we can't just get in a car and go somewhere. It's going to take us 20 minutes to get out the door. But once we're out and the door's locked, we're all in the car. We're on our way. So that's fine. So our plan is to be out the door by 1 o'clock tomorrow. So this afternoon, I need to go and clean the girls' room. I mean, I say this afternoon, it's probably already about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But I'm going to do it. I'm determined to do it because it's a mess. Such a mess. Such a mess in there. It's not a very big room. They do try really hard to keep it tidy, but they have been playing in there a lot these last couple of weeks. When I say playing in there, they've been taking stuff out, putting it outside, and then putting it back in. Like, well, their Barbies have been on a day trip to the garden quite often. Anyway, what else have we done this week? What did we do yesterday? I did the shopping last night because I couldn't go on Thursday. I couldn't go on Thursday because I was doing some other things. I can't go shopping on Monday because we have appointments, so I'm not doing the shopping until Tuesday. So I had to go last night, make sure I've got enough for Monday as well. It's just been a blur. This week's just been an absolute blur. Obviously they've been out drawing in the woods, which was a really good activity to do with Ben. They loved it, absolutely loved it. I've actually got them sketchbooks as well. So next time we can go to the beach and do some sketching as well, or some painting. They're loving getting outside and doing, it's nothing better than getting outside and doing stuff like that. You know, drawing in the surroundings that they're in, rather than like drawing a tree from a book, or, you know, learning about the woods and the beach and all that sort of stuff while they're there. And it's just brilliant. It's on the spot learning, isn't it? It's on the spot learning about all the things that are there around them, and seeing them whilst they're there. And they love it. It's just watching them, like we were talking the other day, me and Ben, about watching them get their spark back for learning, and watching what makes them happy and what makes them tick and what they find enjoyable, especially Toby. Toby's lately absolutely loving doing cooking and baking. Never knew that because Toby is very, very fussy to eat. He's very fussy eater, like very fussy. Was he always? I think he probably was, but you kind of forget but he's very difficult to find new foods for him to try, because he just does not want to try anything. So finding an interest in cooking and baking is great. It might encourage him to eat other things, but he's really, really like it. He's really enjoying it. I mean, the other thing that Toby loves, obviously, is cars. He absolutely loves everything about cars. But with Toby, when he has an interest in something, you see it immediately. He talks about it. He's animated when he's speaking about it. And that is the best thing. Watching him, you know, having to sit still for starters is a nightmare for Toby. He hates it. Hates having to sit. He can't sit still. He's always moving. And that was what he found. One of the things he found so difficult when he was at school, even though we'd asked for like movement breaks and all those sorts of things, that was one of the things he found the hardest, was staying still. He hated it. He said it felt like he was on fire. So for him, learning at again with Joseph as well, learning at their pace, it's just so much. You see it like click, you see them learning, and it's just brilliant. We're going to start doing, we've been doing the odd bit of academic stuff indoors, but it's, again, like I've said before, you know, in the winter, we spend a lot of time indoors because it's too cold and too wet and too snowy or too windy to go outside. So the winter time will be when we probably do the most of our kind of academic stuff, if you like. The summertime is when we'll dip in and out and do more of our outdoor stuff. Outdoor learning, all the things that we do outside, because it's cold here in the winter. We don't get much sun. Well, that's a lie, actually. We do get sun in the winter, but it's cold. It can be really, really freezing, and living right on the coast. So, you know, time outside will be minimal in the winter. We're going to try and get everybody out for at least like half an hour a day in the winter. Some days are beautiful, but some days are really cold. Really, really cold. Biting cold. But yeah, that's just, we're still finding our feet a lot. I know we've been kind of doing home education for, well, if you think about it, it's been a year with Joseph, but it's been 6 months with the twins. And it's only been a few months for Agnes. So we're still kind of finding our feet. We're sort of not at the stage we were when we started. Things are a lot different. How we started. And I think that's the thing with home education as well, is everybody sort of asks, how do you do it? What do you do? How do you start? And I think it's a really personal kind of things to your family, because you'll start, you have the books, you'll have a timetable, you'll do all the stuff that you think you need to do. And then before you realise, you're trying to not recreate school at home, but you are a little bit trying to recreate school at home. You know, you're sitting down, you're doing your academic stuff every morning at this time. And for some people, that might work really well. But we are quite routine people, but it kind of didn't work that well for us. And we're used to having a routine. We like having a routine. But kind of one of the reasons that we didn't want them in school was because everything is so rigid and you have to do this at this time and this at this time. And some days you can't do that. Some days you're doing something else. Some days you might have an appointment. Some days something crops up and you've got to do it. And I think it's learning to, they call it deschooling, don't they? Deschooling, but it's for the parents as well, the parents and the children, to kind of get out of that rigidness, if you like. And like I said, that might work for some people, but home education is not about recreating school at home. It's not about that at all. It's kids learn all the time when they're interested, and when they are not under other constraints. They literally learn all the time. They are like sponges. They pick things up, they ask questions, and quite often you might start doing one thing and you'll end up learning about something else, because one of them said, well, what about, we might be on the beach doing something, and they'll find something, a creature or something, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you're looking up all the stuff about this creature that they found, and you're doing a drawing on this. That wasn't what you went for, but that's the beauty of it. You can switch to whatever it is. It's all learning. So where we started, we're in a completely different place now, but it's not where we'll be in another 12 months time. We probably will be, and some of it is confidence in us passing stuff on to them and that sort of stuff, knowing that because you're constantly worried about whether you're doing enough, are you doing the right things, are you doing this? But equally, when you step away from some of what the system is, you suddenly start to realise, actually, do they need to know about that? Do they need to learn it that way? It's like when they're learning maths in school, they have to learn it a certain way. If you can do the maths, why do you need to learn it that certain way? And that the other problem with that is that certain way changes all the time. And that's because, in school, the teacher is trying to teach, and they have to teach a certain way because they can't necessarily teach 10 children in 10 different ways, because that would be impossible for them. So they have to teach one way to the majority, but not everybody fits in that majority. And like I've always said, it's not a them and us. A home education isn't, we hate that, we don't, teachers and school, and that's not it at all. I've always said we have some fantastic teachers, but they are just one human doing a job, and they have to teach the way that they can teach, and they also have to teach the way that the curriculum and the system tells them they have to teach. And sometimes that might not be what they actually want to do, but they have to, and they have to stick to the rules and regulations that sometimes they might not agree with, but that's their job. But like I was saying, the whole home education thing is, you're constantly learning, and you're constantly growing. You're growing in confidence. You're growing, like Ben does a lot of, people are always saying, oh, Zoe does nothing. Ben does all of it. Ben does everything. Zoe does nothing. But we have almost like two sets of children. We have older ones and we have younger ones, and they both still need as much attention. And yes, Ben might take the younger ones off to do whatever, and I'm pretty sure that there are a certain amount of people that think that I literally just sit on my ass for the rest of the time when he's out doing stuff. Believe me, I don't. And to be honest, you'll say that anyway, but I would love to go off with them all the time, but somebody has to do the housework. Somebody has to keep all the bedrooms tidy and clean. And yes, they help, but I'm talking about the actual cleaning. Somebody has to do the shopping. Somebody has to do all the washing. Somebody has to do all of those things, and they all take up time. Believe me and Ben would both love to just take all the kids, old and young, off every single day and do stuff all day, but we have to have the kids have their own things going on, the older ones. We have to run a house, we have to have food, we have to cook meals. There's lots of admin of life that needs doing all the time. Life admin takes up so much time, and we have other things going on. We have 6 teenagers in the house, and well, actually that's a lie, because Lizzie's not a teenager anymore. We have 5 teenagers in the house with Olivia, Isabel, Charlotte, Noah and Eva. So we have 5 teenagers in the house. Toby's going to be a teenager soon. Lizzie's going to be 21 next year. But they all still live at home. They all still need stuff. They all still, we all are still part of the house, everything else. And whilst the older ones are pretty much self-sufficient, like Lizzie can take herself driving, she can, she can get to work and back and all those sorts of things. And she does a lot of things. And Olivia's just about to sit her test in a couple of weeks as well. There's still emotional stuff, support, all of those sorts of things. That doesn't go away just because they're 17, 18 now or 16. It doesn't just go away. That's in fact, that part of it is even bigger when they're older, I think. The emotional support, because you can't, that's the, when they grow up and they start spreading their wings, it's so hard. It's so hard because you want them to be independent. You want them to be going off and doing all of these things, but equally, and you have to let them, but equally, you don't want them to mess up. You don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to physically get hurt or mentally get hurt, but things that are going to happen. Even though we're really open, we chat about lots of stuff, we talk about all different scenarios. That's things, and that you're going to have to hold yourself back from saying "I told you so," because I've always said I'm not going to do that. Although we might do in the debrief, like 5 weeks later, I might say "I told you so." But it's supportiveness, just being there to support them. It's not just about getting them physically here, there and everywhere. It's being there to support them as well. They don't just, oh, bye-bye, 16 now. That doesn't happen in this house. So there's still lots that we deal with. We might not talk about it much online because they're older, and we're not going to necessarily talk about all the stuff that goes on with the older ones if they don't want us to, and quite often I don't want to. And I think as well, there's a lot of things that happen with teenagers. Like when you have little ones, you'll find lots of people chatting about, the toddler years and tantrums and this, that and the other. And oh yeah, my kid does this and my kid does that. But when kids get older, if they make mistakes or they do things or anything else, parents quite often take it as a direct result of their parenting. And therefore they don't want to talk about it because you think I've messed up somewhere. I've messed up, so they've done. But of course it's not like that, is it? We all do things. I did as a teenager. We all do things. That teenage brain is like a minefield. We all do stuff that probably know that our parents would say it's not such a good idea. But you're still there for them. And even though sometimes you're like, oh, you can't always jump in and help them with things. And that I think is even harder because when they're little, you can jump in and you can save them from things. But when they're older, you can't. And the only way that we really truly learn, for me as well, when you were all growing up, is you learn by your mistakes, don't you? You learn by the things that you do and don't do. And quite often a situation that might arise that that you have probably warned them about as a parent, you don't know for sure until you've gone and done something and gone, shouldn't have done that. We've all been there. So there's that, there's that side of things as well. So, I mean, I'm not trying to in any way justify myself at all. I'm just saying for the people that, will know that it takes up a lot of time, mental time, emotional time, as well. Little kids are fairly straightforward because you can kind of shield them from a lot of stuff. You can't do that when your kids are older. You have to let them go and find their way. And it's hard. Really hard. Really, really hard. Anyway, I don't actually know. I don't think I've spoken about... I was going to come on the vlog today and talk a little bit about body positivity. And I've not spoken about that at all. I've just told you about all the other stuff instead. So I might have to do that in a different vlog. Because as normal, I've just come on and rambled about other things for half an hour. But then there's things that I think, are important to talk about. The teenage years especially they're like super hard. And not because my kids are, they're great. My kids are great. They really are great. And in the grand scheme of things, they are great, really great. We're really lucky. We have a really open dialogue with them and they are really, really great. But they're going to come up against things in their life and it turns you totally mama bear because they come up against things and you think, I can't step in. I want to step in, but I can't, because you'll probably get arrested. Do you know what I mean? And like when they're 18, they go out and they're, you know, out drinking and all that sort of stuff. I was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. So as long as they're better than that, that's fine. We're doing all right. But you know the dangers. When you're that age, you don't see the dangers. I didn't see the dangers. I lived in Portsmouth when I was that age. Out drinking, walking home at 3 a.m. You don't care. You don't see the dangers when you're that age. But as a parent, you do see you see a danger everywhere. When you're a parent, you see danger in everything and everyone and everywhere, but they don't see that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're pretty savvy, especially like Olivia, which is the only one that really goes out, to be honest, at the moment. But she's pretty savvy. She knows quite a lot. She's not stupid at all. And she's very, very good at judging people. She's a very good judge of character. And she doesn't take crap from people, basically. But still, our kids are also very kind. They're very kind. They give people the benefit of the doubt, sometimes when they shouldn't. And sometimes they get treated badly, and that because they're kind. They get that from me. And that's, do you know what I mean? And it's those situations when you've got teenagers as well that it's just difficult. It really is. I think I feel like I am constantly on edge with one thing. My brain is constantly, it's thinking about, like I've said, the younger ones now, especially now we've got their education in our hands, if you like. Great. Can steer them how we want that, and people say, oh, how are you going to socialize them? I mean, they do ballet, they do swimming, the girls do cheer. We're looking at putting them into brownies. They get enough, the other day we went to the park for Joseph's birthday, and there was a little boy playing in the park, and they are the first kids to accept another child. Yeah, come play with us all the time. Everywhere we go, come play with us. They've made friends. So when you say about home educated children not being social, it's rubbish, because they spend more time in social situations, like with all sorts of age groups, from little to big, wherever we go, we end up with more children than we went with, because they just have people just, come play with us. And because they're kind. But yeah, the emotional kind of, and it's not anything that, and I know that parents of like teenagers and young adults will know exactly what I'm talking about. They haven't even done anything, but the emotional drain, you're constantly on edge thinking about, it's like, what time have they got to be here, and what time have I got to be there, and right, I've got to take such and such here, and what about them, and did they get home okay, are they back in, check the doorbell, they're back in, that's fine. It's just, and then I love to sit and listen to their nights out, they tell me about their nights out and stuff like that. That's great, I love that. And I'm so honoured that they sit and chat to me about things. I know they're friends, but it's still, it's just, and like I said, I was going to do a vlog, on body positivity. I'll do that next time, because I think it's disappeared in 2025. It's all become about losing weight, and that's fine. Losing weight, it's great. I've been thinking that I need to, not necessarily to lose weight, just to feel more healthy, to get out and walk a bit more. I've just had problems with my foot, so it's been difficult. But I've been lacking in energy and stuff like that, and I know some of that will be perimenopause and all of that, but this vlog's ended up being something different, so I'll talk about that next time. And plus, because I can't remember half the time what I've talked about, what I haven't talked about, to be honest, and I'm hot just sat here. I'm just hot, I'm just sweating, just sat here. So maybe I'll just speak a bit more about that next time. Talk about that next time, because I've forgotten what I was even going to say about that. But that's what this vlog was going to be about, was body positivity. Where has it gone? And I'm still here, and the cat, doing stuff. But it's ended up being about something totally different, and just life. It's been the last year. It's been a tough year. There's been lots and lots of changes. there's been lots of changes. See, my mouth has gone dry now. There's been lots of changes with the kids, the teenagers. We've had lots of changes within life, massive changes, like going from school into home educating. There's huge changes. Obviously, my mum has been very ill over the last year. She is getting better, but it's been a long, slow process for her. And it's, there's been a lot going on this past year. And sometimes I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for the stuff that you're dealing with. So whatever you might be dealing with, and you're probably giving yourself a hard time about not being able to do it all, or not being able to do this, that and the other, just sit back and think of the things that you do, because it's probably far more than you even realise. And just give yourself a little bit of credit. I can just see the cat's ears. How are you? How are you? Just ignore me. Oreo. Oreo. Totally ignores me. Couldn't give him monkeys. Just does not care. If Lizzie was to walk in, straight there. Or Eva. Not interested. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to do another vlog about body positivity. But for today, that's it. I could go on talking for another hour, but I really have to go and do that bedroom, and I'm really hot and starting to sweat, and I need to go and get a drink because my mouth is really dry. Oh, the joys. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the vlog, guys. From me and my little Skegness pony. Olivia brought it back from Skegness for Florence, if you hadn't guessed. Yeah, that's it. See, this is what happens. I'm just going to totally blank. I don't know what's going on anymore. Anyway, all the links to everything we do are in the video description below. And see his little grey fur. We will see you in the next video. And maybe the cat will as well. Who knows? But I'm really hot now.